Hello and welcome to another special edition of the Slipper Still Fits. I'm your host, Arden Carvalho, and we got a great one on the show with us today. That's Coach RJ Barsh, the newly appointed Gonzaga assistant coach, replacing Roger Powell. He'll be moving on to Valparaiso, but Coach, we are very excited that you're here to join us. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
I mean, you're very excited, but I'm over the moon excited to be here on the show as a Gonzaga assistant men's
Yeah.
basketball coach.
Awesome. Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to get into. First of all, um, choosing Gonzaga. I know you're a Pacific Northwest guy, and you're very familiar with Gonzaga basketball. But what really overall enticed you to take this position?
Working for Leon Rice at Boise State
Mm-hmm.
showed me a family atmosphere with elite winners
Mm-hmm.
and attention to detail. And after traveling the country, there's a brand that I felt like fit my personality the best. And also something where I can make immediate impact because I could see that I could add something that was not there already.
Mm-hmm.
So that gave me a lot of energy to go for those type of opportunities. And then being a Pacific Northwest guy, I wanted to make sure that I had national ties, and I had done that part. And so it was almost like, okay, let's wait and see what happens. And then by the grace of God, here I am.
Yeah, definitely. And then you kind of touched on Leon Rice, who I was going to get into in the next kind of question I was going to ask. I know you've had 10 years at Boise State, a lot of success over there, Mountain West champions, a lot of great moments there in Boise. But you also learned under Leonard Hamilton at Florida State. Those are two like really big guys in the college basketball scene, really smart basketball minds. Is there one thing that maybe you took away from Leonard Hamilton, or it could be Leon Rice, that you feel like you can really use some sort of piece of knowledge that you could really use to your coaching strategy today?
Yeah, I would say from Coach Hamilton
Mm-hmm.
was the mindset, the defensive mindset, and how that is an everyday responsibility
Yes.
in everything that you do. I have been a head coach, and had success as a head coach. I had to coach different styles, but seeing someone of his stature stick to his guns in the process of building a defense every day in every single facet, from how we watch film to how we get on the bus to how we travel, that attack mindset. I learned that from Coach Hamilton, and then how to be a leader of men. And from
And
Coach Rice, the
mm-hmm.
I'll add this is the offensive aspect. I mean, that is a flow system that beats you on the perimeter, that recruits directly to the impact of their offense. And so I kind of got both sides of the ball with coaches who are very skilled and putting the right assistants around them to enhance their program. So I got the master class on offense and defense in the last 5 years of coaching.
That's fantastic to hear. I know Gonzaga fans are definitely going to be exploding at your answer for Leonard Hamilton, because fans were a little bit disappointed on the defensive end performance from the team overall last year. We want to see that make a jump in the KenPom rankings, all the different rankings. So we really appreciate that answer, and hopefully that can be expected from you and the rest of the program next year. Back to your Pacific Northwest ties. What do you miss most about the area? Like, you grew up in the Pacific Northwest. You've gotten a chance to be in Spokane for a little bit. What did you miss most about being in the PNW?
What I miss most is about seeing the youngsters from my area
Yeah.
see somebody who worked hard and achieved a dream,
Mm-hmm.
and to inspire them to do the same, right? Like, that's why I got into it, is because I saw, people who I knew using basketball to travel the world and then change people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
But it was because I was in proximity of them. I could see them face to face. I could see them in my gyms recruiting my friends. And so being able to do that now in the Pacific Northwest brings a lot of joy to my process. Now, I enjoyed every step of the way as far as being on the East Coast, but that part's special because you talk to a young man, and then a week later, you talk to their uncle, and he's like, "Man, thanks for saying what's up to my nephew," and
Yeah.
he's like, "Da da da." Like, that to me, man, those moments is crazy, and I didn't really have those on the East Coast as much because I didn't grow up in that cycle, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
basketball community in the Northwest is very tight.
Yeah, no, I remember when I was a kid, I grew up in the Bay Area, and I used to go to the St. Mary's camps growing up. And I remember when Randy Bennett came up to me and started talking, just as a little kid, I appreciate those moments because you just see them on TV and you just see them coaching these great players. It really means a lot to you as a kid. So the young kids definitely appreciate you taking the time to just give them a little handshake, give them a little gesture,
No,
whatever. Just,
it happened to me in Safeway in Tacoma. Nate
oh,
McMillan just
nice.
fist pumped me. He happened to just be that right there was like, yo, I'm
Big
a coach.
moment.
I'm gonna be a coach. Like, and
Yeah,
so now to be honored to be able to have that level of influence to promote and to encourage a young man or a young lady, I mean, I wear that with a lot of joy.
definitely, definitely. We were talking a little bit before we started this episode, and you mentioned that you're on the road, you're in Orlando doing not a little recruiting, a lot of recruiting. And Gonzaga fans, we have a top target in mind. I'm sure this is the same for the staff. Zoom Diallo. Yes, you have Tacoma, Washington ties with him. Have you had any chance to talk with him? Are you allowed to talk about this? What have you been hearing about Zoom Diallo?
I appreciate being on the Zoom with you today. It's a great opportunity to jump on this
Right,
Zoom.
right.
This is one of the best platforms in the world. Anytime you can get on this platform and talk to great basketball minds, you know you're making a great decision. I look forward to Zooming with you in the future.
All right, there we go. That might have been the best answer that I could have gotten out of you. I appreciate that. So you talked about what you learned on the basketball and from Leonard Hamilton and am I blanking right now? Boise State's Leon Rice,
Coach Rice.
Coach Leon Rice. What have you combined from them and then brought from your previous coaching experience? What's your overall coaching style going to be like at Gonzaga? What are you bringing completely to the table?
Well, the first thing is I like to assimilate myself to the culture, to the community, just to see how the flow is because
Yeah.
every institution in every city is different. Every approach is different. So I've learned to be delicate with certain things and to make sure that I'm building those right relationships. Not 1,000 of them at one time, right? But with the players, with their families, so I can be able to coach guys with integrity, but also with a lot of passion, especially
Mm-hmm.
on that defensive end. So I have some stretchy pants because I'll be in the stands half the game. I'll lose my voice before the second practice, and so my coaching style is somewhat aggressive, but I know my lane as an assistant because I've had to be a head coach, and I know how important it is for an assistant to do their job and do it at a high level to reflect what the
Mm-hmm.
program is looking for. So I look forward to just serving Coach Few, B. Mike Gentry, and all the guys on the staff in the best way
Mm-hmm.
possible. Gonzaga's done it at a high level for a very, very long time. That's obvious, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very few times can somebody who's watched it with a close eye and also built their career join it at the state of the career that I am. That's a unique piece, and I look
Mm-hmm.
forward to bringing that defensive mindset, that relentless pursuit of every opportunity. And man, I'm gonna have a lot of energy. Obviously, you can tell.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I do a lot of interviews, and you have some great energy more than other people have given me. So I appreciate that. Kind of wrapping things up. I know there's still possibly some moves going to be made on the transfer portal market. I know it's kind of slimming down, so the team's not fully completed yet. But with the product on the court next year, what are your real expectations for the 2023-2024 team?
I mean, I think the past is a great predictor of the future.
Okay.
And I think when you add the pieces that we've added, the maturity, right, proven leaders, proven pieces in big moments, that they understand the rhythm of a season.
Mm-hmm.
So I expect us to follow the lead of Coach Few as we have done for so many years, and to get better in some of the trenches of the basketball game, and as a complete team as a whole. I think you'll see several guys lead us in scoring on different nights,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll see a more of an aggressive approach defensively because those are the type of guys we kind of have right now, and
Mm-hmm.
those are the attributes we want to pull out of them. And at the end of the day, hey, Coach Few and these guys have been doing this thing at a high level. That's why we on the podcast. That's not going to change.
Yes.
I mean, that's not going to change. We're just going to put ourselves in a position to represent the institution and the community in a very good way.
Fantastic. I really appreciate your thoughtful answers on all these questions and just giving up your time. Like I said, Coach RJ Barsh is in Orlando right now trying to bring back some future Zags for us to enjoy for the road, down the road. Again, Coach, we really appreciate it here for
I
everyone
got a
on
question
Clifford
for you. I
Suffolk.
got a question for you, though.
Sure,
I got a question.
shoot.
So, if first of all, if you're watching the podcast, I want you to make sure when you're done that you stop and you call somebody or text somebody that you're grateful for and just let them know. Take 30
Yeah.
seconds to do it. Trust me, tomorrow you'll have more energy and joy for doing that. Now, for you, the question I have for you, at what point were you watching a game or experiencing Gonzaga basketball and you said, man, I need to be a part of that, or I'm a part of that? Like it became you to where you have this passion for it. So, when was that moment?
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of moments, but I think when I really, really decided to come to Gonzaga, it was my junior year, and my mom was like, kind of just telling me, you got to figure out where you want to go. You got to look into schools. And my dad always took me to WCC basketball games growing up. I went to USF games. I went to Santa Clara games. I went to St. Mary's games. I think in that 2014 season, when I was a junior, I went to go see Santa Clara play against Gonzaga at the Levy Center in Santa Clara. And I was watching this team. I just knew right then and there, after seeing all the times I've seen the Zags, but just in that moment, because I had that previous conversation with my mom, I got to figure out, it's like, I want to go to a basketball school. Gonzaga's been a team that I've always looked up to in watching these WCC games out here on the West Coast in San Francisco. So I think it was that Santa Clara at Gonzaga, or Gonzaga at Santa Clara game, 2014. It really just put it in perspective for me. I've been to Spokane before. I've seen the campus. I knew I wanted to be there and be a Zag. That was kind of my moment.
And to me, that's what culture does, man. Builds those
Yeah,
moments. So all of us have those moments, right? Casey Calvin
yeah,
tipping that in, like Tacoma got Bellarmine Prep. For me, it was
yeah.
just like,
Oh,
wow,
nice,
it's possible.
nice.
It's possible from Tacoma. It's possible.
Yeah.
So that's
I
cool that you
and
shared that. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you giving me a question. Not a lot of people do that either. And I also gotta give shout out to my dad because he grew up
Hmm.
going to USF basketball camps. He sent me to those St. Mary's basketball camps growing up. He took me to all these games, and that's when I really fell in love with West Coast basketball. Fell in love with the Zags. So shout out to Greg Cravallo for actually helping me make that decision to become a Zag.
Hey, there's your gratitude right there, man. We're killing it
Yeah,
tonight. I
we
appreciate you, my
killing it.
brother. We're
Thank you
killing
so
it.
much. Yeah, I
All
hope you
right.
have a good one. Safe travels, all that.
Thank you.